Welcome back to the episode of Unranked Podcast. Coming to you all, same schedule as usual. Coming off a big win this weekend for the Michigan Wolverines and for the Detroit Lions. Michigan went to Penn State, missed quite a bit of controversy, took care of business. And the Lions went to the West Coast, won, first time in LA ever. Sounds like. Based on some of the stats that you and I was talking about early last week. So
just a crazy stat for one of the founding NFL teams. You know what I mean? But
that was nuts to just see that. But yeah, they broke that curse. They've been doing a lot of great things this year. But yeah, we'll start off with Michigan as usual. Kick it over to you, E. Just wanted to see your thoughts on how they handled business against Penn State this past weekend.
Yeah, no. So, in my part, we have to pause this real quick. I need you to go get your run the damn ball shirt because that's what we did the whole second half, and that's was the storyline of the game. I mean, we absolutely disrespected them, and I think that shows what we want to do the rest of the remainder of this month, and that is impose our dominance, both lines of scrimmage. We just got done saying last week that the run game has been a little adolescent. We ain't seen it in a while. We would love to see it come back, and it was back in full force. Then letting the whole nation know just how good we are, and for what it's worth, a top 10 team on the road, lost your coach the night before. Really, all things pointing against you. All of those things say you got a tough night ahead, and realistically, I think we could have put more points up if we decided to pass a little bit, but we went out of our way to be disrespectful and run the rock. I want to say it was 32 consecutive times. And I was looking at after the game throughout the week, just seeing some of the stats that came up. And there was two or two or three times that game where we had 2,800 pounds on the offensive line. That is just absolutely ridiculous. It said the tweet was we ran the same formation. I think it was 3 or 4 times, and it equaled just shy of 2,800 pounds of offensive linemen up front, tight ends up front, and I think more of the same. It was good to see Edwards get loose. It was good to see us not have to pass the ball after something we just talked about, and just winning however is needed to get done. They stuff in a run. JJ step back, throw for 330 yards in a breeze. Mm-hmm. Our offensive line is getting beat with the speed rush. We opened it up a little bit. We made adjustments and started rolling JJ out of the pocket a little bit. And then sooner or later it hit us. They can't stop the run. Mm-hmm. And we went back to what we do and just pounded the rock a disrespectful amount of times, and let everybody know that even if you know what's coming, you still got to stop it. And because after probably the 15th, 16th consecutive time, they knew what we were doing. We were interchanging blockers, keeping the running backs fresh, and it was just lovely to see. An amazing win, and that's the dominance I want to see. A 9-point win on paper doesn't show the dominance that we really had in that game, as far as I'm concerned. A little BS touchdown at the end.
Right. Oh yeah, we a pick away from being like 31-9 for sure. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Overall, amazing, and so I'm ecstatic about that.
Yeah, no, I second a lot of things you said. I think for me it was interesting because we sat on here and I was like, maybe they can be the game where JJ, like the run game was kind of sputtering, throughout the season. It was solid, but it just wasn't what we've seen in the last couple of years. So I was thinking like maybe it's gonna be JJ that's gonna bring it home for us. But as soon as I saw that pass rush teeing off, they got some guys coming off both edges, linebacker. They got some really they got a lot of NFL guys on that defense.
Yep.
I like how I feel like we could have won the game through the air if we if we wanted to, but I really do feel like we wanted to just send a message. And that was I enjoyed that. And it's just funny, like watching it. Like I didn't even in real time. I didn't even realize.
I didn't either.
Like you don't even, you know what I'm saying?
So, until the announcer said it, it didn't even register in my head.
Right.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but because that's how efficient we were doing it. We were just mowing down the field. just
Yeah.
chunk after chunk after chunk. It seemed like we were passing the ball because we had no issues on just moving down the field systematically, however we wanted
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. And I mean, we literally had a drive. Was it 13 plays, 45 yards? That was 8 minutes.
Yep. Kick the field goal. It didn't
Yeah.
bother me one bit.
That's how you take the air out of the stadium.
Yep.
Like that's yeah, like you really like defense be like they get they go all crazy, for them third down and you keep converting, it's like okay. By the time that third down conversion come, like JJ had a great one. I think he was about to be on like
It's fourth.
I think it was
Yep.
on 4th and 2, something like that. And he made a move on the guy, went for like 6, 7 yards. And I mean, you could even tell just on the broadcast, the crowd, like just took the air out. And yeah, and Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum, they see red when they see Penn State. I mean, the last couple of years, forgot the exact stats, but they've ran for around 600 some yards and like 7 touchdowns between the both of them in the last couple of years. I like how we just leaned on them. And it's November. I just love how, last year it was a running game and we had started to pick out the pass game toward the end of the year. And, now we're just in a situation where, I think we're looking deadly on both sides, in the air and on the ground at the perfect time to,
Right.
keep this rolling. So,
Yeah. No. I mean, great points. And I think just to mention that single out that one drive in particular, the 8-minute drive, that was one of those ones where I think we ended up kicking the ball from inside the 7, 8 yard line somewhere. Like we were very like and that would have been one of those times where I mean we're gonna talk about it later, but Dan Campbell probably would have went for it. A lot of coaches probably would have went for that. I think so. But the idea that, like you said, that was such a demoralizing drive, and their offense looked like I think they thought they can come out and pass on us. Their quarterback opening drive came out, just duck to the ground, duck to the ground, duck, and 3 and out in probably 40 seconds, a minute maybe. And
yeah,
I think from that point on, we knew their offense couldn't do anything. And then once we got our offense a little together, that drive, like I said, that like you said, that turned the page of the game and opened it up where uh, I think that's the drive we determined we are just going to impose our will on these guys the rest of the game. And I mean, I love the energy. I love, at the end of the game, JJ's going around crowning everybody like he usually does when he gets a touchdown pass, but he was crowning the offensive line, crowning the tight ends, the running backs. That's all it's all just
player-led
good.
team.
Yep.
That's a player-led team.
And just to kind of the pick it all up by what our band together and pick it, kind of bootstrap ourselves. And I think that's kind of, what I see with this team. And I love it. And obviously middle of November, big one on the horizon in 2 games. But I mean, we got this Maryland squad coming up that's not, not a pushover, can move the ball a little bit, very, very, I don't even want to call him serviceable, but just a good quarterback, senior. We've seen him. He's been around us. We went to that game, I think it was last year, watched him move the ball up and down the field on us. So I think, we got to go and take care of business versus Maryland coming up. And, I would love to hear your thoughts on that game, another high noon game, and just kind of taking care of business first, the Terrapins before we go ahead and try to, stomp on some Buckeyes.
And I want to one more thought just on the Penn State game. I just want to touch on the defense. Like I said on here, I'm like they got to set the tone early. Penn State first play on defense. Kenneth Grant take that running back and just swallow him up, like.
Yep.
But yeah, just start on the game with that, and then running down that other running back that they still scored that drive, but difference between somebody going 60 and somebody having to convert on 4th down 3 4 times, get a touchdown on 4th, at like the 2, and like, and then end up not getting the 2. So I mean him, you saw guys like Rayshon Benny, who had the forced fumble on Aller. You had secondary, I mean, they played great. They definitely tried to throw the ball a little bit more than we did. Held Aller like 70-some yards. Like I said, was probably could have had 2 picks, or at least should have had one. Johnson, he dropped the first one, then he had one go through his hands, like 2, 3 more plays down the field. And And then they gave some them BS penalties, even let him get down there.
Yeah.
Like Barrett took his helmet off and some other stuff started happening and they just started giving him yards. But yeah, I just love how the defense just like stood their ground. I mean, they were not like, yeah, I mean the score does not reflect how much we dominated that game overall.
No, and you honestly kind of rehashed some bad memories that I had. I forgot about that. That pick was arguably a pick. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
Baby didn't play. And I thought, and excuse me if I'm wrong, but it seems like I don't know. I feel like they could have easily forgave the taking the helmet off on the field because the play was taken away. I feel like that seems one of those like I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know how that typically would go, but I could also see that not happening on a different set of referees. Maybe that doesn't get called, and that's a big change of events where we thought it was our ball, and then all of a sudden it's their ball plus a 15-yard gain. So I think that
it never
just a big
showed
swing
like
of events. Yeah,
it never showed what he actually did. Like I don't think, at least I didn't see on the replay. So yeah. I mean, it had to have been something crazy to draw a flag. Like at least that's what my assumption when it comes to that. But yeah, nonetheless, I feel like I'm just happy that defense. I mean, we got guys like they're fresh, rotating like 8 guys on that D line. I mean, I see probably the best linebacker core in the country. The secondary, Keon Sabb, still he is
yep,
he earned him some he was out there playing some good
yeah.
football. So
And
yeah.
Wood, he's excited to see him. Was he a redshirt freshman or sophomore? So
I think
the
be
future
redshirt
speaks
freshman.
for him. I mean, just the sprinkles we're getting now. I can only
Mm-hmm.
see him when it's another year under his belt and what he'll be next
Yeah.
year and the year after. I mean, he'll be best
Yeah.
safety in the Big Ten.
Will
Um,
Johnson was Will Johnson. Like
oh,
and that like for me, we barely talk about him on here because
nope, that
he
lockdown.
just
Yeah,
locks down inside. Like we know the third of the field over there is just taken care of. So like we don't even need to. Like we just understand what that is, and it's gonna be the answer for Maserati Mom here in a couple weeks. But I digress.
Mazda Mara if we're gonna make a Mazda. No, you ain't heard of Will Johnson yet.
Right,
No,
yeah,
um,
right, 100%.
no, I'm with you on that. We definitely can get. I don't want to overlook Maryland too much. We definitely get in that though. I'm excited to see just
Yep,
those inter battle matchups in that one. And I mean,
sure. That's gonna be one we're gonna be breaking down position by position.
that's
Just
all the marbles for that one.
yeah, 100%.
But no, I
Yeah,
mean
Maryland.
I didn't mean to skip over the defense either. I mean they're the unsung heroes of the team as far as they just do it week in and week out, and we forget about them. That's how good they are at their job. We're just used to that being a thing, and it's everything else is
Yep.
what we typically are worried about. So that's really a
Sure.
testament to how good they are, how good they have been for the better half of half a decade here.
Yeah.
So they typically never been the problem for us. I mean, a few Ohio State games excluded, they ain't never been the problem.
Right.
Yeah. So, but no, they're rolling on all cylinders, just like you said. The rotation, the defensive linemen, rotation of safeties. The fact that we don't even mention Will Johnson is everything. You don't want to hear your corners name that often.
Right.
That means they're not even throwing to him. The ball getting sailed high. The dude's locked down, covered up. And we knew that was going to be a thing from when he was doing his version of Keon Sabb, where we were barely seeing him, but just in small doses a year or two ago. And you're like, that kid's special.
Yeah.
That I think it was the Ohio State game 2 years ago when he had a pick, and he was like, that freshman is special. I want to say it was versus them. Maybe it was another game, but another big time game where he
I
had a
don't.
pick.
He had 2 against Purdue. I know he
Maybe
did.
that's what it was. But yeah, it was like this dude is
And then 2 against
jumping off
Rutgers.
the screen how good he is. So that's we got a couple of them, whether it's Kenneth Grant, Sabb, just Mason Graham, Mason Graham,
Mm-hmm.
guys that are just you know early in their career here on the defensive side of the ball that are the next up that we the torch is going to get passed and probably not have that much of a letdown. So
yeah, yep, and yeah. Didn't even the transfer from we'll definitely go to Maryland after this, but the transfer from Nebraska,
the
Ernest
yeah,
Hoffman, yeah, like he casually plug and play. He's been playing because you don't hear about because he's just playing elite, like just plug and plays. He's been doing his job. So yeah, turn the page now just to touch on Maryland a little bit. This is one of those where sit on here 100 times. Just got to get in there, get it taken care of. You know, I think one of the keys to this game is just going to be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we just kind of count as really just doing what we did last week, is run the ball. I think we're
I second that.
going, in situations where we're going to take it back to 2021, and just really lean on people until they just quit. And I feel like that's going to be the same, here. And like you said, Maryland, they're a feisty team. So I think he's probably, I'd say at least in my opinion, the second best quarterback in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody swore Aller was the best. I think that question got answered the last few weeks, but no, I think Talia,
I think that's answered after that.
yeah,
Talia's not going to be this inadequate this week. As far
no.
as
And the thing, yeah, like you said, we saw it live. Like Talia, I mean, the way he was just disappearing in and out of that pocket, like we swore that he was be tackled and he would just come and roll out. I mean, that was the first game Big Ten play. I mean, they made it tough. And like we left after 2 touchdowns thinking that it was good, and they still found a way to score and go for 2 and make it like a 7-point game. Before it was all said and done. So I think just with this, man, you just really want to be able to get in there, handle business, keep everybody healthy, and just prepare for that. Like I said, obviously, definitely not looking ahead, but this is not where you play with your food. You got to get in there and just handle business.
No, I agree, and maybe you would know the fact. I think this would be get the job done, the 1,000th win in our program history. So I think we have to mention 1,000 win is absolutely insane. You've seen Harbaugh say it this week. That'd be the winningest first triple digit, would it be 4 digits, first 4-digit win in any football team history, whether it's the pros, any college, Division II, whatever. And that's just a testament to how good the program has been since the last 100 years. So I think that'd be just a great bow tie before we head over to the next week after that and try to get the first 1,001. But just looking at them, I mean, they can put up points. That's the first thing I noticed here. We got 38, 38, 42, 40, 51. Or no, the 51 was not them, but still a bunch of 40s. And they're on once they got into heavy Big Ten play, they went on a major losing streak. Ohio lost, Illinois lost, Northwestern lost. Got the brakes beat off them by Penn State. And then they washed up Nebraska in a nasty 13-10 game. So the way I look at it is, obviously the quarterback's going to do his thing. I think it's just managing those big plays and taking the ball away from them. He's good for a turnover or two. He's good for a fumble. He's good for an interception and capitalizing on that. Because I think probably more than anybody else, they're going to be probably the best offensive team we played so far. I mean, I don't know the actual stats, but I know how they like to play. And they're going to be definitely the most pass-happy, offensive-friendly team we've played so far. And I think that's something that the defense has to come up, step up to the plate, and do what they do every week. I'm not overly concerned, but it's one of those things where set the tone early, put them in must-have passing situations. Go ahead and get that early lead, that 10-0, 14-0, where they're they have to take the run game off the table a little bit and we unleash the dogs from there. And just take off. So I'm excited about it. I don't anticipate anything too crazy happening across the country with other teams. So you go ahead and win this one. You're probably going into the last week of the year, ranked 3rd again, and go ahead and play for all the marbles. But offensively, I kind of agree with you. More of the same from last week. I don't think we're gonna. I don't think it's necessary, but I also don't think we're gonna try to pass for 300. I think try to get JJ's arm loose a little bit. Try to keep it sub. Call it 18 passes, 15 maybe. Keep it real light and pound that rock.
Yep.
have Blake and Quam, um, Harvard and Mullins combined, 40 carries somewhere in that ballpark, and let JJ step back and pass it for the handful, his couple of runs. I mean, we talked about it during text. We should have mentioned last game or during the recap, but uh, I don't know what we're hiding it for, but the run option is there, and I don't know if we're saving that for a 70-yard scamper versus Ohio or whatnot, but when we run it, it's a money play. Either we get 4 or 5, 6 yards to the run to the running back, or and even when that's stuffed and JJ takes it around the corner, it's like this is a win-win play.
Mhm.
And so that's I want to see him sprinkling that in a little bit, or maybe not there in this game, but I think
That
uh
ankle, he still scared me though when he came up limp like that though. So I'm like, I think they do. I think they do just be telling him like
yeah,
this, like you said, it's like a money play whether you give it, whether you're supposed to keep it or not. I think they're just like,
yeah.
until like you
If you
said, they
don't
get
see the end zone,
yep,
keep your handed off, basically.
for
If you
sure.
don't, if you know
Yeah.
you can't get 15 on this, I think that's what they're telling. Like you
Because he
you
does a
hand it
great
off.
job of killing people on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
he'll get you random 10 to 12, 15, like a couple times a game.
Yeah, he
Um,
does it. He just doesn't do it as much as I would. I would like him to be like a little more selfish with it.
like
Like
four
yeah,
to five and more
Pat
like,
White
yeah,
kept it what 70% of the time. So
he was, yeah.
yeah. No, so we don't need him in that ilk. We don't even need him in Denard ilk. But keep it increase that 1 to 2 times a game, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that is a home run play for us. But I think that's just in general finding ways to keep it um condense that field, pound the rock. I mean, I think that lineup we had 2,800 pounds on the field on the offensive line. I think we're going to see that again because
Mm-hmm.
if Penn State couldn't defend it, I know Maryland can't. And I think we're going to show up versus Ohio and do the same thing. We're going to see if you can defend this because this is how
Yep.
we want. And then if not, we'll let JJ do his thing. And but I'm looking forward to this one, man. It's the Maryland team usually plays us tough, and so it should be a
Yeah,
low
it might
key
be
game.
their,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, but
this,
yeah,
their Super Bowl homecoming, you know what I'm saying? Like, it might be their homecoming, something like that. It could definitely be in the cards. They try to, like, spoil somebody's season. They're gonna be up for it. And it's going, yeah, like I said, it's, high noon. I think this is
yep.
just a very ideal, like, this is kind of opponent I do like to see, before that last game of the regular season. Like, a nice test to
It's a good test and a good. I don't want to call them that because they can't come get you. We'll be looking foolish on that.
right, right.
They
Yeah,
are a
yeah.
test and a good opponent, assuming we take care of business to introduce us to what we'll see next week.
Yep.
Trying to throw the ball around, explosive plays, and just kind of get our mind more set into that. We thought Penn
Yep.
State would be able to do it too, and they just looked inadequate. But and maybe our defense is that good where you're not gonna be able to play that game with us. But I think Maryland will be a good test to what we can do when a team just wants to be wide open and play open.
Yep.
And like
Basketball
you
on
said,
grass.
yep.
Or, yeah, basketball on
Another
grass.
that's a good way to put it. And
It's
another
crazy.
another test. This is one of those things where you got such a big target on your back. You're top of the Big Ten, number 3 team in the whole country. Everybody knows you're arguably the best team in the country. Um, and you can make somebody's season off if you beat them on this. They can be talking about that to their grandkids. Hey, we knocked them cheating mother truckers off. So I think that's one of those things where we got to continue to keep that fire in our belly. And I
Oh,
like
yeah.
I think we do. You seen how emotional people were, whether it's the coach, the players talking about it. That picture, Corum
Yeah.
with the blood trickling down. I mean, that's going to be. We mess around and put a bow tie on this season with a Big Ten championship and a national championship. That's going down, like the Rose Bowl or like the Rose in the mouth picture or something along those lines, where that's just going to be the face of what this team was. And I think we're going to get much more of that coming up. Where I think them running backs want to get back to that as well. They want to.
Oh, yeah.
They
They
like
hungry.
that.
Like, Diamond, Edwards is like, chomp at the bit. So like I said, I really do hope that we, I mean, go heavy, 7 linemen, five double tight, whatever, and just keep the same thing rolling as we did, and yeah, and just to kind of put a button on it if we do a score prediction here. I mean, they're a very like this is a very unique team. I'm looking at like their stats. I mean, they got obviously they pass the ball quite a bit, but they literally receivers have like one has 607, another one 542, another one 523, another one 401. Like they just got does a good job of getting around everybody. So this is gonna be it's gonna be a really good time, for us, you kind of go from playing with 8 in the box to being spread
Yeah.
back out,
Yep.
So I know they're gonna be up for the challenge.
100%. Good introduction of what we got coming up. No, I agree. I'm looking forward to it. Just a good test. I don't know. This is gonna sound weird. I don't even know how to really word it, but I like the Maryland team being in the Big Ten. It's just a good,
better than Rutgers, yeah, definitely.
yeah, a lot better than them. They do seem to do well. They play a little different than we do. They kind of kept their ACC style, and so I like it. Just
coach too.
Yep, yeah,
Got
100%.
black head coach, black president, black AD, if I'm not mistaken. Like first, I think one of the first schools like in the country.
Okay, I didn't know that, and I did not know that their assistant head coach is Kevin Sumlin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be top four guys in charge.
Mm-hmm.
So they obviously got. I mean, Kevin Sumlin ain't no slouch on coaching either. So they got some pieces in there. That knows what they're doing. So
they're a couple years away from what we don't have divisions no more, but they're a couple years off from sneaking around and being like coming in third, knocking off Penn State or like they got.
I mean, we can score position after. You put them on the other side, they come out every year.
Oh yes, 100%. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that tells you how they are. I mean, you dice fall a little different. We look at them as a 10-11 win team every year. They just can't get it done versus our division. So no, I agree. They're just kind of stuck on this side of hell. They kind of so
yeah. No, yeah. I'll start off with this score prediction here. So I think it's going to be I think it's gonna be a somewhat similar score to last week. I think it's gonna be more of like a 27-10, like a 30-13. I'm gonna go 30-13. I think we get a few touchdowns, hold on to the ball, control the clock, end up kicking a few field goals, playing defense, and I think we just like slowly just start to lean on them.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go 38-17.
Okay.
I don't like. I really don't think they. I don't know. I'm going with that. That'd be the most points we gave up this year. But I just think all things considered, that's kind of how I'm feeling. So good solid dub, and we're not trying to show all of our moves here. We're kind of we know what we're doing. So I think just good solid dub and keep marching. So no, I'm hoping I'll take either one of them heading into the week after that. So
absolutely.
Everybody healthy.
Right. First and foremost, 100%. All right, turn the page here. Touch on this week. I've been calling them the Showtime Lions. That's what the commentator called them when Montgomery went 75. But yeah, no, this is just it's a great time to be a Detroit Lions fan. Watching them go over there and win that game the way they did was it was awesome. Being in prime time, you got the guy, Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, they the ones calling the game. They're usually calling the Cowboys games. They call them the Chiefs games, the Eagles games. So I think just seeing us start to get more and more of that national attention, we're like the way that we're being covered by insiders and everything, it's just a lot more. And it's just an awesome thing to see. But I love what happened on Sunday. Granted, the defense, they're sputtering a little bit. But the way that offense, this is just the offense's turn, to carry the team this year or this week, excuse me. We played the Raiders. It was the defense's turn to kind of carry the team that week. And we got weapons all over the place on offense, got some solid guys on defense, and I just really enjoyed seeing a fully healthy team in mid-November, play the way that they did.
Yeah.
So yeah, just want to kind of see your thoughts on what all went down too.
No, I mean, I think I'm a mimic a lot of that. So the Lions are, I guess, you always hear the next man up mentality, next man up mentality.
Mhm.
And I would say when you take that to like a playoff team, a lot of times, often it's next unit up, next unit
Yeah.
up. So this game, offense is spinning out. Maybe that you get a good kick return or punt return to kind of spark the offense, give you those 7 points that you need, or
Yep.
defense gets that out, or whatever the case may be. Somebody steps up when somebody else is falling down. Kind of the next unit up mentality, and that's seem to be what we're doing here. You know, it's still, I mean, it doesn't even feel so. It feels wrong talking about the Lions like this, but it's one of those things where every it feels wrong, but also so right. But what I'm trying to say is, it's one of those things where every week I go in and I'm like, is this the week? Is this the week? And they find another way to respond. Take away. We blanked out that Ravens game, but outside of that, every single week we look like a team that could win a championship. Um, and I love how even responding since that Ravens game. That's how playoff teams do. They just come out and continue to win, chip
Back-to-back
away.
games.
Yep. Road wins, um, primetime game wins when you got missing star players like your running back, Montgomery. He hasn't been around in a month. Hadn't
Yeah.
seen the matter. JMO's been out. D line is missing, inadequate at times. Just injuries across the board, and it doesn't seem to matter. So that, and it's crazy for the Lions to say that. And you look at a bigger picture, and we haven't even done everything 100% right. There's been maybe a player or two we could have drafted. There's been a free agent or two we maybe could have got. We could have moved on trades, but we're still just chugging along, and
Mhm.
we're in a really great place now where like you mentioned a few weeks ago, we're heading into this stretch of schedule that looks very favorable. Um, Heading into this week, the next what 7 weeks, or how many weeks there are left of the season, um, one outside game versus the Bears. Other than
Yeah.
that, we're at home or in the dome, and I think just all those things considered, the Vikings matchup seem a little more interesting now than it did 2 or 3 weeks ago, particularly having two of them at the end of the year. But you go ahead and take care of the Bears, and I think the rest will take care of itself.
Mhm.
And I feel great about this team, and the I guess the team, how it's been assembled. We the grit does seem to work. I know we kind of talked about it before we hopped on, but I still I don't know. I don't know if we should have went for it on fourth down that last drive, um, and kicked the
Yeah.
field goal and gave it back to them. But that's one of those things where when it works, you look at an amazing coach. Don't give them. Why are we going to give them the ball back? Why even do that? But it's one of those things where I think they do got the team believing. They do got the team thinking this is our identity. We're a type of team that goes and does this type of thing. We take that that gamble. We're going to bank on our defense that even if we don't get this, you're not going to be able to go down the field on us in 90 seconds. I
Yeah.
think I don't. That's one of those things where if we didn't get this and we lost and gave them the ball on the 30-yard line and they went right down the field, I'd be sitting here saying, "Hey, what are we doing?" But so I'm not going to act like I won't talk out of both sides of my ass on this a little bit. But I do think at that moment, it seemed like the right decision. I was not mad because it
Yeah.
looked like the momentum. It made sense in the flow of what was happening, and they didn't look like they could stop you guys.
And
And
that defense was struggling too. Like
yep,
I think that was part good big part of it. I mean, they gave up 5 straight touchdown drives.
yes,
Like and it was like an avalanche. Like and hell, it was even irritating. Keenan Allen got banged up, was out for a drive or two, and they still ended up scoring. I'm thinking like, we maybe now we can, and I like not glad he's hurt or anything, not saying that any way at all, just saying like, is this an opportunity for us to kind of capitalize, stop the bleeding,
yep,
get off the field. But they still were just chugging along. Justin Herbert, I mean, everybody sings his praises. And we've seen the numbers he's put up. you know, but it was just really I'm just, appalled, just blown away by just how that offensive line is running. I mean, we didn't, ran on 4th and 5. I mean, that's literally the ultimate, like, they was on some Michigan football type shit. Like, just like, we dare you
Yeah.
to stop this. Like,
Yep.
I mean, and you run that on, 4th and 5, and like, oh line, they love that, so that's just, you're imposing your will on teams, and you're also just, the confidence is just through the roof, and they're, that they'll be able to do this to everybody else from here on out. So it's been great just seeing them rolling the way they have been up to
Right.
this point.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I said that jokingly earlier, but I mean, I really do kind of like, and it's going away every week, but I do. I'm like, damn, like, are we gonna fall apart? Is
Yeah.
this the week that all the injuries come back to bite us? Is this the week that such and such may happen? And every week they answer these questions, and you know, obviously we're gonna get into the next game going forward. But I guess I want to ask you this question. I know we really just kind of off the cuff, but looking at the team now, we're sitting at what, 7-2?
Mm-hmm.
So 7-2, very favorable schedule heading out the rest of this way here. Um, so what in your eyes is a failure for the rest of this season, and what would a success to you?
I mean, I think if we win any less than like 11 games, I would say is a failure. Like, yeah, I mean, I would say the seal. So I guess kind of what you're asking, the floor. I think the floor would be like if we, 10-7, if that was somehow, like wild card.
Yep.
And I think the ceiling. I mean, I'm look at that schedule, and if they just handle business, I mean, I think they could easily be 12-5, 13-4 with the 1 seed. So it's really just a matter of, like you said, I'm not gonna sit here and they're probably gonna drop one or two, and we're gonna be like, why? How did this happen? Like, I mean, the Vikings got an astronaut at quarterback that literally like came off the bus. Like, they literally showed a clip of him. They had to
Yeah.
show him what Lockman was at. Like,
Yep.
like, and he's won them 2 games, and they got a pretty favorable schedule as well. So, um, but yeah, no, I think there's you just gotta just take care of business, and not to look too far ahead. Not saying this, not looking far ahead when I say this, but that Dallas game, that's one that I'm just really like, looking forward to. That's, if I'm not mistaken, New Year's Eve. Like, we got a favorable schedule. We got a couple like tests just kind of peppered in there. Go like to New Orleans and to either to Dallas, or Dallas comes to us. I think it's in Dallas though.
I think it
So
is in Dallas.
good, strong, favorable schedule, and it's also the NFL, so it's also any given Sunday.
Yep.
So
Yeah, no, I guess just to kind of answer my own question, I would say I don't necessarily know if I want to put a win total on it, but I would say I think you have to make the playoffs.
yeah, for sure.
And um I think if you make it, you almost got to win a game. I think in
Yeah,
the reason I say that is I think this team is good enough to win a game. So let's say all hell breaks loose and we get in by a wild card. I think at that moment you're like, okay, we're a feisty team. One of those teams that could knock off somebody, maybe not, depending on how that works.
yeah,
I think the team would still the fan base would still be a little upset. You get a wild card and go and lose to Philly week, or
yeah,
whatever. You lose to somebody like that. And I think if you get that first seed or second seed, a home game, the fans are going to be so hungry to win that home game that it will be the heart would be ripped out if you lose it. So I almost think a win, like the playoffs is the first goal, and after that you got to put a win here because it I don't know. That's just kind of how I'm thinking. This team it's been very resilient, and having the best team that we've had in 30 years means nothing without something to show for it. And I don't
mm,
know if making the playoffs is something to show for it.
okay. I see what you're asking now. I guess
Yeah,
I
but
guess I was
no, I
more,
got no. It's all cool.
yeah.
But
I thought you was talking about like more like
no,
just
no, no. I think I asked it weird, but no, I
no,
just
I feel you. No, so yeah, I guess to like I give you like a better answer. I do feel like win the division, playoff win. Like, I think for me, like, it wouldn't. I'd be sad if they lost in the divisional, but I'd be sick if they lost in the wild card. Like if they, um, yeah. So I see what you're saying. And even if we got the one seed and then losing like in that division, that would like right. Like I feel you. Like we definitely gotta win one for
Yeah,
sure.
particularly because of how, and I don't want to sound crazy, but we did not make the playoffs last year, but we finished so hot. A lot of the Lions fans kind of think like we kind of almost act like that Green Bay game was a playoff victory. So I
Yeah,
feel like coming off of last year and how hot we were, we had the momentum of damn, we could have made the playoffs last year type of deal. So I think we
yeah,
it almost
right. So next
it
pump,
moved that
yeah,
progression up a little bit where it's like, okay,
it's de facto
we
playoff game. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
exactly. We finished so hot last year. We just, we would have, if this team would have been playing the whole year, we'd have been 13-4 or whatever, so that's kind of the
Mhm.
mindset we had. And then we hit the ground hot, so hot this year that I think
Yeah,
you just got to finish strong, the next 2 months of the year from now until mid January. You got to be playing this type of caliber football. And they can get that. They can get one of those wins. I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself. You got to go take care of the Bears this week. Packers,
for
I think the
sure.
Saints are in there somewhere. So I think, we still got some
Dicey,
tests coming up, but
yeah, you got
I
like
just
three
wanted to
games.
see kind of what your thoughts were if I was being a little crazy by thinking I'm hungry for a playoff win with how good this team is.
Sure.
They're not sputtering. It's not at this moment in time we're not sputtering. You talk to me in 4 weeks and we're sitting there at 7-5.
Yeah,
Okay, hey, I'll just take a fucking playoff. but how I'm
right.
feeling now, but how this is looking, we got to go and put this together. So
Yeah, for sure. And this, and like I said, this, these are teams like the Bears, for example. Start talking, diving more about them. Like the fact that we have like them this game, and then we got the Packers. They'll be fighting like hell because we already embarrassed them, on their field. Um, even though they still don't look that great. But any given Sunday, and then we got the Bears in Chicago, and they might mess around and be, 20. And like these are like you want to be able to just shore that division up as soon as possible. So it's like if it come down to, last game of the season, it don't mean nothing, pull start or something like that. So I think, just kind of like, yeah, as we kind of dive in with them. Big thing this week is with them is just getting Justin Fields on the ground and just getting like do not let him start getting
yeah,
up and down
lose.
the way that he is. Yeah, and granted, coming in, he'll probably be a little rusty, been out for a month, dislocated thumb. You know, on his throwing hand, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I didn't know
And
he's back. I didn't know he's back. I
yeah,
thought
I think
I
this
was
they
kind
were
of
saying.
preparing for the baguette guy or fucking. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah, so, yeah. I mean, I saw like more than likely, it looks like he's trending towards playing. I mean, I think for them, he gonna be motivated. He's either playing for his job or putting out good film when he gets traded. At this point, of the season, just kind of how things have been going, how he's looked up to this point. So I just think it's gonna be one of those things where Aaron Glenn, he kind of been under fire. I ain't asking for his head yet, but everybody else on Twitter is right now. So you hope that they gotta figure out how to get these guys that because even Herbert, like Herbert's not a running quarterback. He runs like he can even him just like getting like I feel like they're kind of pressing, because they weren't, was the pressure wasn't really there. They're kind of pressing a bit, getting to them. But we gotta find a way to whether it's spying these guys or different rush lanes, like having whatever the case is. But this is an opportunity for Aaron Glenn to really like reset that defense, and and he's done it. We've got exposed a couple different times, and that following week, they've really
yeah, he
tightened
puts together
stuff up.
that perfect game plan. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and this
So
to be a team
Hutch,
I don't.
I was gonna say I
Sorry,
know Hutch motivated too because he had 2 3 sacks go through his hands, literally gave up a play, like a 15-yard pass when he didn't get to um
Herbert. Yeah,
Herbert in time. So yeah, they'll be ready.
no, and Hutch. Just to mention him real quick, Hutch is obviously he's great, but I think he does need another. He needs a co-star on that defensive line with him. I think just to take that pressure off,
Yes.
just to
Yeah.
move the pocket. I mean, right now they're practically rolling away from him or double, chipping. I mean, they're doing whatever they can to just neutralize him because they know everybody else on the D line ain't much to worry about. And so I agree with you on that. And as far as the defense in general, it we haven't spent the money on the defense like the offense. as far as drafts and that type of show. I think it shows it shows from time to time.
Yeah, D-line not as strong as they thought it would be.
Yeah, and we love how great Laporte is. We do, but I mean,
Yeah,
they could
we
have went and got
lost
somebody.
Houston.
Yeah, Sam or Jack Campbell easily could have been Kalijah Cansey. I mean, we found ways to not address it. We didn't go get somebody this offseason. So I think Aaron Glenn, I don't want him to be a scapegoat, but there is something to the bigger picture of we haven't prioritized the defense like we have the offense. And is that what?
Got Bruce Irvin beside Bruce Irvin. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
I did not actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
big splash. No, but
36.
we yeah. Yeah, no, we trying. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
But I think we went and signed. I think we addressed the cornerback room is where we really addressed this past. Like you said, we banked on the
yeah,
defensive line being a little better, and whether it's Pascal being injured, just people haven't stepped up to the plate like we thought they were injured or whatnot.
mhm,
And so I don't want to put it all on him, but it is something's got to give eventually.
yeah,
No, so and I don't know this Bears game. Just to look at that, Justin Fields is back at the helm. We seem to struggle versus running quarterbacks a little bit, and he obviously is not as good a passer as Geno, not as good as runner or passer as Lamar
Herbert. Oh, yeah,
or Herbert. But
yeah,
we people seem to light us up a little bit when that extra element is in there, and so I think this is just a good test to try to shore up. He's liable to give you the ball a couple of times. He's liable to miss some open receivers, so you got to capitalize when that happens because he's also liable to turn a corner on you for 70 yards in a heartbeat. So I think kind of the yin and the yang of it. You got to capitalize when he's making those immature young mistakes, and also neutralize those big time plays that he's also capable of. And
yeah.
just I think, but overall, I feel very good about this game. I think I just don't think they got it. They just this be shit in the bag. We gonna lose this one. This isn't the one I anticipate us losing on the road at home. Regardless, I think we can get them. And a lot of momentum. I mean, like you said, flying back across the country. Both running backs. Jameis had like you said, a touchdown called back. He's pop. There's things are still happening, and we're a lot of our cylinders are firing. So that defense can step up again. I mean, this might be a complete blowout. So
Yeah. Now, yeah, I was gonna say, I think,
listen, I'm about to plug this laptop in real quick.
well, for sure. No, I unfortunately watched some of that Panthers Bears game on Thursday, really just to kind of see what he's about to really be like looking at. And um, I think just really look at them. I think their defense is a lot more solid than it was last year. You got DJ Moore out there. That's really,
Yeah.
I'd say, anything I just kind of
So I meant to mention him. He can get
it's like,
a little bit.
yeah, because Sutton didn't have a great game last week, but I think he's gonna be motivated to clamp him up and just make sure he don't do nothing crazy. The tight end they got some solid weapons around there. I think, but I think like the defense is solid, but that still is their weak point to where I think we got the best O line in the league. I'm gonna go ahead and say that got the best O line in the league, and I feel like we're really able to do what we did, similar to what we did last week, to where gonna run that ball, set the tone early with that, and then Goff gonna start killing people on the play action, over routes, all that. Get St. Brown involved, and I think this is a game where Williams hits him over the head with a deep ball, about 60 yards or something like that. I can
It's
see
about
it.
that time.
Yeah,
It's about that time. And I agree. They do got players spring. What was the game that DJ Moore we had like 200 yards? Who were they playing? Like early in the year.
Washington.
But I mean, yeah. So he's one of them dudes that can don't let that happen. So I mean, I'm sure he's excited to have Fields back. As much as people talk about Fields, you see that he's definitely night and day better than
Right,
whatever
they got good chemistry. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's probably excited about that, and this be the game where they try to get that rekindled and back going. And then Justin Fields is I mean, let's just call it what it is. He's fighting for his job right now. Not just the job here, probably an NFL's job. And they got a couple of top picks coming in. All the rumblings of they might clean house You know, I'm blanking on my man out at USC right now. But USC quarterback Drake May. I
Oh,
mean, all
Caleb
those
Williams.
rumblings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We would love to put together a nice little second half of this season. We gotta, and he's coming off the injury, so I think
Right,
we gotta try to nip that in the butt as quick as possible, and just try to derail that whole situation because you don't want this to be the game where he tries to make a name for himself.
right.
And just limit those plays. Jared Goff, keep doing what you're doing. It's funny that we kind of, I don't know whether we got this on here or not, but we kind of talked about this the other day as far as would you give him that $200 million deal, whatnot. And I've been seeing some rumblings of what it was our friends at Wilbur Sports, but I seen them talking about just what that could look like. So it's interesting to see, and I mean, let's just be honest, if golf season or not, but you win a playoff game, you can probably put another 20 million on that paycheck on that job right alone. So I mean, this is
Man, you're not going to eat for free in Detroit for the rest of your life.
100%. And the Fords are going to come with probably another 20, 30 million on top. So
Yeah,
this is a big
the key to the
second half of
city.
the year for you too as well. So just a lot of things cooking. It's a good time to be a Lions fan. And I mean, hands down, best Lions team I've seen. I've been able to witness, and it's just I want them to continue to chug along here and put this together for real. Like, go ahead and get that playoff win. And I think it just this is every week you just want to see something new with this team. But now you come off a good win on the road, and how are you going to treat a team that you should wash up? Are you gonna show up not that strong and let them hang around, or are you going to put your boot to the neck and I'm ready to play? So I think just a further maturation in our franchise here. So I'm happy, but I'm happy with it.
For sure. Yeah. And we can just get a score prediction after this, but like everything you say about the Bears, how motivated they are, I know on our end of things too, Campbell, Golf, he proved a lot of naysayers wrong right now. I mean, I called a bridge quarterback every chance I could get on this podcast. Trading picks, I'm trading him on Pro Football Focus, and he has went ballistic. I know he loved being able to go into SoFi, and handle business. And I also just want to say too, I got to tip my cap to Dan Campbell. Like he learned his lessons from last year. Like his mentality. He said, "Well, I'm gonna tip my cap.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, like he learns his lessons from last year. Just trust his defense. Aggressive when he needs to be. Stole one out in LA. And I just feel like, yeah, I mean, he's got these guys just motivated, like you said, the next man up mentality and everything, the culture, it just looks great. It's just a great time to be a Lions fan right now. And he's done, at least up to this point, he has not been getting in the way anymore.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with that. And I just looked it up. He's 24-30. No, is that here? Sorry, he's 19-23. He was counting his couple of Miami games he won. He's 19-23. So I mean, 4 more wins to be 500. I couldn't tell you when the last time a Lions coach been 500 with 40 wins or 40 games under their belt. I mean, not in my lifetime. So Campbell, Caldwell possibly, but so I just in general, we're headed in the right direction, and it's good. And brick by brick, I mean, we're doing it very well. It'd be good to not to get too far ahead, but another round of drafting as well as we are, another round of strategic free agent placement. I mean, we are setting this team up for success for a long haul here. I mean, we didn't even talk about the fact that we got arguably a first round pick quarterback last year that's sitting on our bench riding. We might not even need Golf if everything else is working right. We can go spend that 40 million somewhere else. So I think we have a lot of things cooking here. They're really putting this thing together well. So, but we got to. I don't want to put it on them, but we got to get that playoffs dub.
For sure.
City needs it.
1,000%.
Franchise needs it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's we talk about what a national championship would do for Michigan. A playoff win. I mean, that you'd have free agents, showing up that we wouldn't even be looking at on this podcast, when that time comes. So yeah,
Yep.
it's they're rolling though. They're definitely trending the right way. Score prediction. Think this was gonna be I think I'm gonna go 31-23. Think it'll be a little close. I feel like I don't know, just what I've been seeing with these running quarterbacks. I feel like you're gonna be able to get loose a little bit. They're gonna keep it interesting for a little bit. I think it's gonna be one of them games where the score don't really reflect. We might turn them over a little bit here and there. Turnover on downs here and there, just like really make things difficult for them. But I think we'll be able to get out of there, yeah, with a 31-23 victory.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be too far off. I'm gonna modify mine a little bit to make it not as close as yours. But let me go 30. Let me go. Damn, you kind of stole my shit. I'm going 30, like 30, 31-20, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah,
Like kind of
yeah.
like you said, I think Fields will probably get a little, I think they have an opportunity to move it on us a little bit. But like you said, just a game that's kind of in hand.
Right.
Most, is it the score that won't fully reflect what happened in that game, but just a good
But they'll
dose of
hang
the
around
run.
for a couple quarters.
And
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even talk about the Montgomery going back home. Maybe he wants to get busy on them. We gotta,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's a couple of little inner game battles as well that could be
Mhm.
interesting to see. I'm sure Montgomery would love to have 100-yard on them. Another 75-yard rush in Soldier Field.
For
But
sure.
yeah, no, I'm feeling somewhere in that run that ballpark, and we inch another dub out, 8-2 on the way.
Yep.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure. Yes, sir. You got
Okay.
anything else for the peoples?
Oh, one pride, go blue. Be back with
Yes,
y'all
sir.
next week.
Yeah, go blue. Peace.